We have just discussed the security situation in and around Ukraine. In recent weeks, we have seen large and unusual concentrations of Russian forces close to Ukraine's borders, similar to Russia's build-up in Crimea and the Black Sea region earlier this year. NATO remains vigilant. We are monitoring the situation very closely, and we continue to consult among allies and with partners such as Ukraine and the European Union. Any further provocation or aggressive actions by Russia would be of serious concern. We call on Russia to be transparent about its military activities. It is important to prevent escalation and reduce tensions. NATO stands with Ukraine. We do not and will not accept Russia's illegal and illegitimate annexation of Crimea, and we call on Russia to end its support for militants in the Donbas. All NATO allies are united in their condemnation of Russia's behavior. NATO and allies continue to provide significant political and practical support to Ukraine. We are helping to strengthen your capabilities, including with training for your armed forces. And we support your wide-ranging reform agenda, which will help advance Ukraine's Euro-Atlantic aspirations. Please.
Thank you. Dear Secretary General, dear friends, I would like to thank you, Secretary General, for our today's in-depth and, more importantly, very timely conversation on the current security situation along the Ukrainian border and a sober analysis of its impact on Ukraine and NATO. And I particularly appreciate that our conversation was both political and specific. In Ukraine's view, what we currently see along the border is not a purely military buildup, because Russia already brought a military armada to our borders in spring and has never really withdrawn it since. What we see now is a deteriorating situation where Russia is demonstrating that it can quickly activate the already amassed troops and equipment, and that every option, including the military one, is on the table for Russian leadership. Russia continues to fuel the conflict in the east of Ukraine by supplying weapons and troops, financing the occupation administration, issuing Russian passports to locals. Russia's military maneuvers, the energy crisis in Europe, the dramatic use of migrants as a weapon on Poland's and Lithuania's borders with Belarus, and massive disinformation have to be seen as one complex of events, because they are all elements of Russia's hybrid war on the European and Euro-Atlantic community. We have to be ready for all scenarios, for all options, but more importantly, and we have to strengthen resilience of Ukraine against these scenarios. But what is more important is that all of us have to, Ukraine and the allies, have to closely coordinate and take any measures which can help to deter Russia and to prevent the worst-case scenarios. Because whatever the price of these deterrence measures is, the price of actually stopping the heated phase of the conflict will be much higher.